Are you ready? All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Hi, Mr. Weldon.
Back away.
Check, check.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the June 14th, 2021, 4:30 p.m. meeting of the Lawrenceburg Redevelopment Commission. I'll read this important announcement before we get started about public meetings. Our new voluntary Title VI Public Involvement Survey. The following statement shall be read at every public meeting held on city premises as a recipient of federal funds and in support of Lawrenceburg's efforts to ensure non-discrimination and equal access to all citizens. The city gathers statistical data regarding participants in city activities. Therefore, we have provided a voluntary Title VI Public Involvement Survey at this meeting. You are not required to complete this survey. However, the form is anonymous and will be used solely for the purpose of monitoring our compliance with Title VI and ADA. And that form is at the back of the room in that direction over there. So if you do feel inclined to fill one of those out, please grab a survey, fill it out, and then there's another envelope for completed surveys back there as well. So if we'll begin now. Kelly, can you give us a roll call, please?
Executive Director Brian Messmore,
Present.
President Richard Richardson,
Present.
Vice President Lenny Fryman,
Present.
Secretary Kevin Schaefer,
Present.
Member Janie Wilson is absent, Member Brian Johnson,
Present.
Lawrenceburg School Board Member Brian Jansen is absent, and City Attorney Dale Weldon.
Here.
Thank you, Ms. Brookbank. Appreciate it. If we've had time to review the meeting minutes from the previous meeting, I'll take a motion to approve those meeting minutes this evening.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'll move abstain from that.
And we have one abstention. Give us a roll call vote on that, Ms. Brookbank.
Member Lenny Fryman,
I'm sorry, what are you asking?
just say yay.
Yes.
Member Brian Johnson,
I'm
abstain.
going to abstain.
Member Kevin Schaefer,
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen, ladies.
You're going to have to speak up over, I can't hear you.
We just needed a motion for those meeting minutes, Lenny.
Okay.
We're gonna get him one of those Beethoven ear pieces. Do we have any announcements this evening before we get into our financial report?
I have none.
The board doesn't have any. We'll move on to our financial report from Ms. Brookbank.
As of June 2nd, 2021, the balance for redevelopment is $1,921,828.39. And after monies promised towards projects, it's $1,727,081.29.
Anybody have any questions regarding that? If not, we'll move on to our new business. Mr. Messmore, we have 98 East High Street grant.
Yes, thank you. And good evening. We have talked about Parkside Market before, and Phyllis Knieven is here. This is 98 East High, otherwise known as the old Sugar Shack. This was a property and a business that I indicated that would be a preferred business, therefore being eligible for up to $25,000 for tenant improvements. And in discussion with council, we weren't sure that everybody understood that I had that responsibility or could have that responsibility, so wanted to bring that to light this evening and ask for a formal vote on that $25,000 preferred grant for Parkside Market. And Phyllis is here this evening. We've discussed this business in a previous meeting. If you have any questions or would like to hear how it's going, Phyllis is here, and if there are any comments from council, if I've presented that correctly.
No, of course.
Yeah.
So this fund is $100,000 fund that your honors all voted on in November, I think late last year, to add that money, earmark that money for up to $25,000 grants, and then as part of what a lot of people in the public don't see, and sometimes people, you guys on the bench don't see, is that, you know, this is our primary arm, this is our main official executive branch appointed arm of redevelopment, but there's so much more to it. Mr. Messmore participates in Downtown Economic Advisory Council Committee, Main Street. We've got Jenny Fowler from the state of Indiana teaching classes at Ivy Tech. So, you know, when you're being the good stewards of these dollars that you are, they're being vetted on multiple levels before they get to you guys to kind of make the final approval for in the big picture decision. So this, Mr. Messmore, correct me if I'm wrong, but this project with Phyllis Knieven kind of went through some of those stages, and there have been votes by other boards to kind of take them on, approve them. Some small businesses even have to take a class at Ivy Tech. So it's really robust, and what Mr. Messmore does, when you see him kind of flitting out and about around town, he's really kind of going from one board to another, and then meeting with people on the ground level, and, you know, doing the nuts and bolts, but then again, bringing it to you guys at the highest level.
Well, appreciate that. I think I was under the impression, though, that we had given you the authority to do that just in circumstances where there was time sensitivity with the deals moving forward. So moving forward, do you have that from us or not? Are we not going to, I'm just wondering if we're going to continue to do it that way, or if we're going to do it the way that we're doing it now.
Honestly, I'm a worrywart, so I'm always a fan of overdoing things, which is the opposite of Mr. Messmore, who likes to just do it and get it done. So we're good yin and yang, and I think that, you know, anytime that we can have an extra meeting, it's better than worrying that we didn't have enough meetings. So, City of Lawrenceburg.
And I'm good with that.
Yeah, I mean, we
Yeah.
value transparency and involvement on multiple levels. We just want everyone to feel like they're a part of this process, you know, and we do a lot of things behind the scenes, but we don't look at it that way. You know, we always say, hey, come, you know, sit at the mayor's desk or my desk or Mr. Messmore's desk, because we want everyone to feel like they're doing this together. That's just really important. So that's why I probably get on everyone's nerves, and I'm always asking for extra meetings and extra things like that. But I just think it's important because everyone takes ownership, and then everyone has a lot of pride when we have new businesses and we see our city growing.
No, that makes sense. I just, you know, like I said, and I'm all about transparency. I think everybody knows that from my tenure at the clerk treasurer's
question.
office. So definitely no problem with that.
Well, that was
Like
the
I said, the
discussion,
only-
so we weren't sure that everybody understood it that way, so here we go.
All right,
That's the
well,
way
that
we'll
sounds
do
good
it,
to me.
and-
And she's here,
And
correct? Would you like to come up to the podium and talk to us?
If you want me to. You know,
Come on up and tell the people what you've got going on.
pictures and everything if you want the whole spiel.
It's nice to have a face now with who I've spoken with.
Hello, I'm
Hey.
Phyllis, and I'm not sure I've met many of you. But I'm opening a store at Parkside Market. It's going to have a bakery, a deli, gelato, ice cream, hot food, and cold sandwiches, and some groceries. So we're trying to compact a lot of things into that tiny little 1,400 square foot space. The money that I've asked and talked to Brian about is all going back into the building, that portion of it. And actually, the remodel is going to run over the 25,000. But that's going for the construction work that's going on now. You ought to stop down there and look, because the guys are in there every day, I think. Some flooring, the construction is about 12,000. That's gonna be a new roof, or new ceiling, not the roof, because it was sagging pretty badly. So that covers that. There's going to be a new floor. The back of that area, which was storage, is now going to be a kitchen. So the floor has to be redone in there. It's gonna get new plywood and covered with a very durable flooring. The plumbing is about $7,000 because we had to add a bathroom to get a liquor license. So we have applied for a liquor license. I don't have that yet, but, and I need to talk to you about that because I got my application back saying that that's the $6,000 fee. Is that because I asked for beer, wine, liquor?
not that I'm aware of, but we'll have to,
Okay.
we'll have to figure that out.
Okay, so anyway, we'll have beer and wine. If it's $6,000, we won't have liquor. And the electrician is going to be rewired so that all my kitchen equipment will work properly. So he's working on that. There'll be new ceiling lights, Of course, new wiring in the bathrooms. So I think I'll probably have about a $5,000 investment in the building part, but then about a $50,000 investment in the equipment part of my own.
Wow.
So
How'd you get
technically,
involved?
you're leasing, right? You're leasing the building?
Yes.
You're not buying?
Yeah.
So technically, what we're doing is giving ourselves $25,000 to fix up our building, correct?
Correct.
Am I
That
right
is
with
correct.
this?
Yeah,
So,
Yeah.
that's a win-win deal, Dale.
with that, Lenny, I like it.
Yeah.
There you go.
If I'm
Pretty much.
reading this right.
Yeah.
And that is accurate. And to clarify that, yes, City of Lawrenceburg does own that building. So the $25,000 is for tenant improvements only. So those dollars have to be accounted for in the build out of the structure, and the structure itself will be much better condition than it was prior to the beginning of this project. So it's certainly a win-win.
Phyllis, how many employees will you have?
Well, I right now have 6 people lined up. On music nights or big event nights, I'm probably gonna have a few extras, so probably up to 9. But regular people that are gonna rotate in and out part-time, I'll be there most of the time. But people to
Okay.
help with the other parts, about 6.
What kind of hours do you want to keep?
We are gonna open at 8 o'clock in the morning, because we're gonna have bakery and that kind of stuff. And we'll be open at least till 8 o'clock at night. On event nights, we are not closing till everybody's out of town. So when there's people down there and something's going on, we will be open.
Very nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Smart move.
It will be.
Yeah.
I have a little
Yeah.
bit of a,
Those
I've got a
events.
little bit of a philosophical bent to me, so I'm always curious about the people that come into the city and what brought them here, what led them here. Where does your passion lie? How did you get into the desire to have a business like this? I mean, surely you've got a good story to that.
Well, it's a long story, so I'll give you the sweet and condensed version. I ran a grocery store and owned part of one for 25 years, a family business. So a boyfriend actually brought me to Lawrenceburg. Lonnie is my boyfriend, and he lives down here. I really never intended to be in the grocery business again. However, I always kind of wanted to, but on a much smaller scale. I think the trend is going to be, we're going to see smaller things, and people like to carry food out. They want food that they can take home and make. Nobody's, the millennial people are not cooking as much. I mean, that's what the studies indicate, but they like things that they can take home and finish off. So we're going to head in that direction. I've had a catering business. I also decorate and make cakes, which is kind of what made me interested in the building to begin with. But you have to bake a lot of cake to sustain that. So there has to be many streams going into that. And I thought the ice cream was a great thing there, because I live in the row houses right across from there.
Okay.
And I hated it when the ice cream store closed.
Hmm.
So I thought, I saw a lot of people in and out of there. I knew that that was a good piece of the puzzle, but we also needed more things to make that work. And there's nowhere downtown to even buy a bottle of ketchup when you run out, so. that
Exactly.
solves
Yeah,
that.
that's perfect.
It's
Yeah,
true.
huh?
So, just to go back just one step, the preferred business was food, beverage, retail, and/or anything that provides a unique experience for the citizens of downtown and people who visit, and that's kind of how we like to put it in a box so people understand what we're, the long-term objectives are. But I think what's really cool about this is the piece that makes it a livable community 7 days a week for the citizens. I mean, this is a place that, that's there for people who live here. 7 days a week, maybe 6 days a week. But I think that the mix here is a place that, again, the people who live here can go do some basic shopping, and again, the people who visit are going to have a nice experience and come back and tell people about it. So,
Yeah, it's the goal.
yeah.
Phyllis, will you do any catering
We will do catering.
or special order items?
Yeah, because my sister manages a catering facility now, and she's going to help me with this project. So she is probably going to handle that aspect of it. And I already do wedding cakes and deliver those to places. So I think it'll be a good mix of the two, to be able to take food and the cake. And
Okay,
yeah, we will be doing
very
that.
nice.
We may not, in the beginning, because I would like to get something going as soon as possible, So the gelato case and the soft serve ice cream will be the first things, and the bakery that we start with. The kitchen may take a few more weeks to get ready. But in the beginning, at least we want those things going fairly, as soon as we can get them going.
Makes sense. It's summertime. Have the ice cream and everything.
Yeah.
For the events, it's perfect.
Well, and this has always been on, our bucket list, Brian tries to let things happen organically, but we've always wanted, we always call it bodega, but, just a downtown shop that has little groceries, a little food. I think that's just part of what makes, like Brian said, this is a livable community now. It's not a drive-through, stop-through community, and people are taking more and more pride in this being their community. People that live here are living downtown, are really excited about that, which is really cool to see. And that benefits the people on the hill that come down, or Green Hill that come down, but even the people that come out from out of town to have a really strong core of true locals. A store like this is a great fit.
The other thing that I didn't mention, that we are going to have a private line of groceries. So I have a company, Lipari Foods, that's going to label a private line of groceries for me. We'll have some brand names too, but many of the things will be the Parkside Market label.
And organic, and Richard, what's your preference?
Vegan, are you gonna have any
Vegan?
vegan options?
Well, we're going to have some vegetarian options. Everything is going to, because I usually use organic ingredients in my cake. So we're going to have some bulk foods that are all organic, because that's a little hard to find around here. But I will come up with something vegan.
You can find vegan, that would be at the top of my list.
Okay. I know there's a vegan gelato option, so maybe we can.
There are, yeah. A lot of Cincinnati places have that. So it'd be
Okay.
great to be able to come here and, I could get my vegan fixes.
Right.
Right here in town. So that'd be great. Somebody else have any additional questions? If not, I will say that it seems like you've got a great passion for this, that, you can just, your face lights up when you talk about it, and that's one of the things that we love. We love this community, this is our community, and we do want it to be a livable community 7 days a week. You've got that passion, that spark that you're gonna bring into our community. I love it. I'm excited to see this happen.
Thank you. I hope
So-
I will see you all down there.
Oh,
Can
we
we
will.
get that in the form of a vote?
Sure.
Yes, can I get a motion to extend this $25,000?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you, good luck.
Now we'll move on, Mr. Messmore, to 140 and 146 East High Street listing and structural bids repair.
Okay, we've been talking about the row houses for a long time, and we still are. So 140 and 146 East High are the row houses directly adjacent to the stage, to the park. We do have and have had work done on estimating for the structural repairs of that building, including facade repairs. I'm waiting on an estimate for that, the second estimate. Following that estimate, I think we've discussed in the past, the plan would be to go ahead and put that out for bids to see what the cost of restoration will be for those two structures. While doing that, I would like to enlist the help of a realtor. We haven't done that in the city for a while. I would like to put out an advertisement for realtor services with the intention of getting much higher visibility to these properties and attracting potential investors and just by numbers, more people who may have some interest in participating in the restoration of these properties or acquisition of these properties. But I'd like to proceed with a realtor to get those properties out on the market. And I would suggest that we'll put an advertisement out, listing qualifications, and I don't know how many I'll get back, but I'm assuming I'll get several back, and I can filter out one or two and bring you the top 2 or 3 and let you guys help make the final decision. And I think the you know, I think Kelly and I were putting together an advertisement, and the last couple comments were, you know, what is your strategy for helping us sell these properties, and certainly what would be your compensation for those services. So, you know, I think that's the path I would like to head. In addition to that, I would also like to include the two vacant properties that we'll have one on Short and one on High Street later this summer. So, you know, it'll take us, you know, we're government, it'll take us a month or two to get through this process and have an opportunity to have plenty of understanding and get questions asked about how this is going to work, get it through legal and those sorts of things. But ultimately, you know, want to increase the supply for the high demand of properties and hopefully improve the return on our investment here in the city. So I guess what I'm asking for tonight would be your granting me the authority to pursue getting RFQs for realtor services for the Redevelopment Commission. Yes, sir.
Question. So where are we at with the bids? Have you got any bids back for the repair of the property?
I had bids back, but they were so wide in terms of values that I thought it was better to do it again and make sure. So I'm supposed to have it last week, but I mean, you know how things go. Everybody's busy, but
Just curious.
yeah,
It is very hard to get bids right now.
yeah.
I can attest to that.
And it's complex. I mean, it's a historic structure. There's, you know, they're unit cost based, but there's some unknowns in terms of what, you know, what's in there and
How many
We'll see.
bids did you get back? How many different contractors?
two,
Two.
yeah. Yeah, so now I have Maxwell and let me think of the other one, working together.
Are they local?
Yeah,
Pool group?
no, it's, let me think about it. But anyway, we met with RC Engineering out of Indianapolis, again, the one who developed the plans for that, to make sure that everybody understood what they were calling out and what that meant, so there was no confusion about what those elements were. Went back in the building again, looked it all over again, and they're just realigning those estimates. So, land consultants.
Have we decided exactly how we're gonna advertise? Is it gonna be commercial or small commercial, or is it gonna be residential, or does it matter?
Well, you mean for those buildings?
Yeah.
I think generally speaking that we would want some combination of light retail, office business, combination with residential. All of one or the other.
Storefront downstairs? and
Yeah.
residential?
Yeah, I think we want to try to maintain the neighborhood, the residential neighborhood that it is over there.
Brian, how much control do we want to have over that in 2 years if they sell it to somebody else to operate a bar?
Well, I
Do
would.
we want to
I
look
would-
out that far into the future, or?
Yeah, I would think that it would have a covenant on it that would suggest that it was solely to be used for light retail or business office.
Yeah, we definitely wanna keep it kinda quiet over there where everybody's sleeping.
Right, right. I would think so too.
Yeah,
Michelle's over there as well.
yeah.
So we have two residents in
Yeah,
that
that's
street
right.
right here that really want us to do a good job.
No pressure on me up here.
So really, this.
So
just
does that
gives
take
you-
place before we look into listing?
I think that we continue a parallel path. And that, you know, if we generate interest and we're in the middle of understanding what the costs associated are with the structural repairs, that can be, you know, it can be part of the deal. I mean, somebody could, you know what we've got going and know what they can do in their own world versus what we can do in our world, and there may be a a negotiation there that lowers our direct investment and enhances their opportunity to develop that that'd be the ultimate goal. And then if we are not lucky enough to get that worked into the deal, then we would list them as structurally sound, ready for redevelopment when we're done, which would be much more appealing. I will tell you that when you take folks in there and look at those buildings, it's overwhelming. Beautiful place, lots of opportunity, but a significant investment. I would say there's going to be a partnership at some level along the way.
We can give them to the city.
Pardon me?
We can give them to the city, let them build them.
Well, yeah. So all I'm asking for, and again, we can talk about it next month. It'll take a couple months probably to get through this, is to proceed with advertisement to obtain the services of a real estate broker to help us bottom line, to get more value out of what we got than we have been able to get out of it on a traditional.
Basically, this just brings us back the realtor options so that we can move forward with the listing.
Yes.
So that's what
That's
you
all
need a
we would be,
motion
yeah.
for tonight.
That's all we need tonight. And just to go one step further, when we do list these properties, to the point Kevin made about 140, 146, the owner-occupied residential we would have those same characteristics, minimum 1,800 square feet, 2-story in this location, like the one down on East Hyde needs to really match the historic structure of the houses on, up and down that street. So we would create those specifications while it's being advertised to the public so that we knew and they know what our expectations are.
Are there any additional questions? If not, do we have a motion to move forward with procuring a real estate agent?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. The only matter of old business we have on the agenda tonight is a Main Street report. See, we do have Michelle with us this evening.
Mhm.
Do you have some highlights?
She has a lot going on.
No lowlights?
Never a low light. Thank you, Michelle, Lawrenceburg, Main Street. Really excited about the grant program. It's going gangbusters. The community really appreciates it and strongly expresses their appreciation each time we go through these grants. I think in May, we processed through 9 grants, and we've got 7 more that Design Committee is reviewing tomorrow night. So continues to be a great asset to the community, and we appreciate the opportunity to implement them.
And if I may add, on behalf of Main Street, there's a lot of work that goes into this. Accounting for the expenses, the quotes, we require multiple bids, and matching up documentation that applicants provide to verify the expenses that have been made prior to them receiving the funds that they've applied for is, it can be a daunting task, especially dependent upon the record keeping of some of the applicants and how well they keep it together. And as you well know, it can be overwhelming for anybody, but they put a lot of work into it, and I know it's frustrating sometimes, so I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate your support. There is a lot of hand-holding that goes on with the applicants, but again, it just helps us to get to know people in the community, and
Good
they're
point.
really appreciative. Thank you.
Wonderful. It's great. Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Michelle.
If we've had time to review the claims that were provided in our packets, I'll take a motion to approve those claims.
I'm so moved.
Motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. And now we'll have comments from the audience. Nothing?
Come on, I was expecting something.
Not tonight.
I'll just say welcome to the neighborhood for your store.
I'm sure they'll be
I
great.
think it's really gonna be a neat thing from what I've read in here.
Well,
Well.
everything that comes from my neighbor's house is amazing.
I'm excited. It's gonna be great.
It's good to hear.
Oh, boy.
Well, we have nothing else. I will go ahead and take a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved. I like that part.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay?
Well, I think I want to oppose. I think we should just sit here for about another 30
Sounds like the
minutes
ayes have it.
anyways. Just kidding.
Out of order. Out of order. Gaveling.
I'm gonna run it back down for you and Brian to sign.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.